Good morning, people. I'm Robin Rainbow Gate. I want to share with you a real life, right now story. So, you think you're going for a walk, and then something else happens. I woke up and I felt full of energy, and I thought I'm going to climb this mountain that I love to climb. And on the way there, I always pass by where my dog Leonita lives now. She used to live with me when I lived out in the country, but now that I live closer up into town, I don't have as much land, and so she stays down with my landlord, my ex-landlord. So I'm approaching the house, and there she is lying in the street, as she often is. And normally she can feel me coming even before she sees me, and she comes running and with love and excitement and crying with such love and excitement to see me, and rolling on her back for a tummy rub and lifting her paw and all that. And this time she just was like lying in the street, and I was like, "Do you even recognize me?" And I called to her, and she kind of, her head was up, but not much reaction. I was like, "What is going on?" So I came closer, and she just didn't seem the same. Her eyes weren't shining like they normally are, and so I petted her and talked with her a while and asked if she wanted to go for a walk. And so she got up and she started walking down the hill with me, but she was lagging way behind, and she was walking really slowly, and she seemed to be having trouble breathing. She sneezed a few times. And so we kept walking, and then we're starting up the first incline, and she's just way behind and just keeps stopping. And I turned around and I'm watching her come up, and she actually collapses. One of her hips just collapsed for a minute. And I was like, "What is happening to Leonita?" And I went to her and I just held her and hugged her and wept. And she's 10 years old, and if she's getting ready to go, I just feel so sad, especially because at the same time another close family member is also finishing up their life young, and so there's a lot of grief right now. And as someone getting older, it seems like there's more of this, more grief, more loss. When I was younger, I felt so immune, like it just hadn't touched me, hadn't really come to my life. And I remember as my parents, when they were elderly, they were such amazing, energetic people, so full of creativity and so dynamic, and they just kept outliving all their friends, and they kept finding new groups of creative friends until finally there was just virtually no one. Anyhow, all that is to say that there's more grief, I think, as we live longer and experience more. So I couldn't take Leonita up the mountain. I mean, I knew she would just keep trying to follow me, and I couldn't do that to her. She was so weak. So I returned back to her house and talked to the son there, who takes a lot of care of her. He was fortunately home, and so we talked, and he said that he would consult a vet. And so, but I didn't want to return then to walk to the mountain by myself, because I thought she'll try to follow me again, and I didn't want that. So she laid back down in the road and looked just absolutely pooped, and I noticed she had a runny nose. And so when she was just kind of not around, or just not around, not in view, I went on a different walk, a different direction, a short walk to a beautiful place. That was one of the first areas that I ever walked around when I came here 14 years ago. This area is in my book. And I went a little ways into this beautiful area, and then I got to this just rock. The rocks here are so amazing. They're so ancient, so alive, and I just put my hands on this rock, and I was just so in the moment. Like there's this big rock wall, and here it is, and then there's the plants around me that are familiar. It was like nothing spectacular, really. It's, in a sense, just a place. But I was so in the moment, and I just put my hands on this rock and just felt and said, I love my life. And so it's a very tender, sad time, and maybe you experience this too, a mix of gratitude and joy and sadness and grief and loss. So I wanted to share that with you today, in case you resonate with it, and in case it brings you any comfort or solace or a feeling of not being alone in this process of living and loss, especially in these times. Thanks for listening. I'd love to hear from you if you have anything to share.